Billionaire entrepreneur Ethan Ward had everything: power, influence, a name the world admired, yet the only thing that mattered to him were his 3-year-old twin daughters, Lily and Liana. Ever since their mother passed away during childbirth, the girls had been his entire universe, the only remaining piece of love he had left. But when, out of nowhere, the twins developed a mysterious illness that drained their energy, stole their smiles, and left them crying through nights with intense headaches and chest pains, Ethan's world collapsed. He hired the best doctors money could buy, flew specialists from Switzerland, Japan, even Dubai, brought in the most advanced medical equipment into his mansion, but the more he spent, the worse the twins became. The doctors called it an unidentified neurological condition, prescribing medicine after medicine, injections, therapies, experimental treatments, each costing millions, but nothing healed the girls. Their once bright laughter turned into weak whispers, their playful spirits replaced by exhaustion. Ethan blamed himself, punished himself in silence, and stopped attending meetings, isolating inside his mansion where every corner reminded him of the daughters he feared losing. Desperate, he hired a full-time live-in nanny named Grace, a young woman with a gentle voice and warm heart who had experience working with children struggling with trauma. On her first day, she watched the girls cling to Ethan with fear, as if they expected something bad to happen every moment. She sensed something was wrong, something deeper than any doctor had described, but she stayed quiet, observing, studying the patterns. Within a week, Grace noticed strange details. The twins froze whenever they saw their medicine bottles. They trembled at the sight of the mansion's private clinic. They screamed at night, not from pain, but from nightmares that had nothing to do with illness. She noticed they seemed healthier when she took them outside to play in the garden, but the moment they returned indoors, symptoms resurfaced. Grace documented every moment carefully. One evening, as Ethan sat beside his daughters' beds, tears in his eyes, he whispered, "If I could trade my life for theirs, I would do it without hesitation. Why is nothing working?" Grace hesitated, then gently asked, "Sir, may I show you something?" Ethan nodded numbly. She opened her notebook, filled with observations, the twins' reactions to certain rooms, their behavior before and after medical sessions, the way they flinched whenever the family doctor approached. Ethan frowned. "Are you suggesting something psychological?" he asked, almost offended. Grace kneeled beside him. "Sir, I'm suggesting something environmental. Something triggering. Something here, in this house." That night, when the twins slept, Grace quietly inspected the mansion. In the clinic room, she found medicine logs that didn't match the dosage Ethan approved. She found charts written in rushed handwriting, inconsistent with professional standards. And then, she found a small vial tucked behind the medical cabinet, unlabeled, faint chemical smell, and nearly empty. Her heart pounded. She rushed to Ethan and handed him the vial. "Sir, this doesn't belong to any treatment you authorized." Ethan's face drained of color. "Where did you find this?" She explained everything. For the first time in years, the billionaire felt something he rarely experienced: pure terror. Immediately, he called the head of his medical team. The moment the men entered the room, the twins began crying uncontrollably, clinging to Grace and screaming, "No! No! No!" Ethan's eyes widened. He looked at Grace. She nodded softly. "They aren't sick, sir," she whispered. "They're afraid." Security was ordered to search the doctor's belongings, and what they discovered shook Ethan to his core. The doctor had been experimenting on the twins with unapproved neurological drugs, using them as subjects in a secret research trial. The mysterious illness wasn't real, it was induced. Every symptom, every sleepless night, every injection the girls feared, was manufactured by the one man Ethan trusted the most. The doctor was immediately arrested. Ethan collapsed onto the floor, sobbing like a broken father, clutching the twins as if terrified someone would take them away again. Grace wrapped a blanket over the three of them, whispering, "They're safe now. The worst is over." Recovery wasn't instant. The twins took weeks to regain their strength, but what healed fastest was their happiness, because this time, Ethan didn't depend on medical experts. He depended on Grace. He depended on love. One afternoon, when the girls were laughing and pretending to be doctors while Grace lay on the floor as their patient, Ethan watched from the doorway, tears running down his face, not from grief this time, but from gratitude. For the first time in months, he saw his daughters alive again, glowing, joyful, whole. Grace looked up and smiled. "They're healing," she said softly. Ethan placed a hand over his heart. "Because of you," he whispered. Weeks later, he promoted Grace from nanny to director of child wellness at his foundation, giving her the authority to design programs to protect children from medical exploitation, ensuring what happened to his daughters would never happen again. And every time he looked at Lily and Liana playing happily, he remembered one thing: money can save lives, but sometimes, it takes a pure heart to see what no doctor can. If you love this story and want more emotional, inspiring stories like this, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next life-changing story.